So welcome to another video preview for the upcoming Board of Selectmen's meeting, which will be August 17th, 2016. As always, in their meeting room on the second floor in the town hall. I'm Dave Gagne, I'm the town administrator, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of what you can expect to happen at the meeting. The meeting will start at 6:45. A resident on North Elm Street will be there and has a concern about a culvert that is adjacent to his property. And then at 7 o'clock, there will also be the Trading Post, which is a second-hand store that has had some issues with his license. He'll be before the board, and they will have conversations with him about his existing license. We currently have gone through the interview process for our next building inspector, and so at 7:30, the finalist will be there from the search committee, and he will interview with the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen will then make a decision whether to appoint or not. After that, the board will then discuss all of their minutes and approve as such. They have requested, the board has requested me in the board has requested in the past that I put together a purchase policy for high-end items in order for us to make sure that we're making the best use of our tax money. So I put together a policy at their request for their review. And this year we will also have, in September, we will have a state primary for state contested races. So the warrant will be listed for the Board of Selectmen to sign. Because our building inspector has left us, as we discussed earlier, not only we are in the process of hiring someone, but the administrative assistant per her union contract allows her to get paid an additional stipend for the additional work that she's doing. And so that will be before the board for them to approve. And a couple of other contracts for them to review for janitorial services and for sharing of services with other towns with the town's bucket truck. As many of you know, for over 20 years, there has been a nice Park Day celebration at War Memorial Park run by Selectman Jerry Lawrence. Even prior to him being a selectman, that will be held on September 11th. And so that request for approval of use of the park, entertainment license, and liquor license will be before the board for their approval. And then, unfortunately, as many of you are aware, there was a fire on Matfield Street last week. And so the family has asked and reached out to the town as to whether or not we could assist in local donations. Chairman Eldon Marrera allowed them to be able to collect donations at the transfer station this past weekend. And so that will just be a vote of the board to ratify that decision. And because our old police chief, Don Clark, retired, he sat on the school building committee, and therefore the incoming police chief, Vic Flaherty, will be appointed in his position. There is some property up on Copeland Street that is going to come out of 61A, which is currently agricultural use, that will be sold to its next and highest bidder. The town has first right of refusal. The board will consider that. And also the assistant plumbing inspector is going to be recommended for replacement. Under my report, as many of you know, the board has discussed, although not approved, but have discussed the merger or potential merger of the highway and forestry departments. So that will be before the board to discuss with my update. And the same on the Council on Aging. That director is retired, and so they'll be determining what the process will be going forward to replace Ms. Graff. And the last is if you recall at our last meeting, is that Speedway was there, which is at Hockomock Plaza. They have some underground storage tanks. I will update the board of my conversations that I've had with them in the meantime. After that open session, the board will vote to go into executive session, because as we stated earlier, they will be interviewing the finalists for the building inspector. They will then go into executive session and strategize as to what they would like to offer for compensation, of which at a later date I will present to that individual. And that will conclude our meeting. As always, thank you for watching. You can always see this video on the town's website and also at wbcat.com as well. Take care and have a good night.